Shalom. All praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Barakathum to you, hopefully elect. This is pretty much going to be like a news update on some hot topics. I just got 2 videos I don't want to play. This first video going into basically how, like the title says, it says, why do 2/5 of Americans believe the U.S. Civil War is likely within a decade? Because these surveys have been coming out about how a lot of people believe that a civil war is likely to take place in America, Babylon the Great, which is going to happen because it's prophesied to happen. And Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, ultimately he's stirring the minds up of these people, all right, stirring up that spirit of war, all right. I believe it talks about in Isaiah the 47th chapter, and he's using his main pit bull on the left hand, all right, because I want to read this real quick. In Revelation 13:11 it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, all right. And back during this time of the Roman Empire, which to show you how America is a regeneration of the ancient Roman Empire, all right, because these 2 horns that speak like a lamb, going into back then was the plebeians and the patricians, all right, which would be the modern day Republicans and Democrats and Republicans, all right. These 2 horns, it said it had horns like a lamb, all right, because a lamb is docile, is humble, and supposedly the both of these political parties, they're supposed to basically speak on the behalf of the people and be for the people, all right, supposedly, all right. But as we know, or as we should know, because when it comes to both sides, the left wing and the right wing, like I said, as we know, as we should know, these are nothing but 2 feathers off of the same bird, because ultimately they're all in cahoots with the beast, all right. They work integral with the beast, which we're currently living in the beast system, the beast setup, all right, which ultimately this beast is trying to forward its agenda, all right. And with that being said, because like I said, the Heavenly Father, ultimately he's using his main pet on the left hand, because who controls the beast? Esau, Edom, of course, the top wicked elites, all right. And when you read on, it says, well, I'll read it again. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right. Now, when you go into this dragon, when you go into the word dragon, all right, the word there is a Draco or Dracone, which when you look into that history, he was basically a strict Athenian lawgiver. This was during the time of the Greeks, which the Romans, they pretty much adapted this method, all right. They adapted this way of doing things, right. And this is because, again, America's nothing but a regeneration of the Roman Empire. So again, with that being said, he's trying to set the stage, all right, and get the people to react a certain way so that he can set up these draconian measures, these draconian laws, all right. And again, he's using the left wing versus the right wing, because what's today? Today's September 3rd. I believe it was just yesterday. You had the Biden supposed to, he delivered this. It was supposed to be I think it was in a what do you call it? I think it's called the something about addressing the union. You know, basically you're supposed to give the speech to the nation, right? And I believe the speech was like roughly 24-25 minutes long, and I believe half of that time he was addressing the nation. He was giving a speech. Half of that time he was basically talking shit against Trump and the you know, the whole MAGA movement, the Trump supporters, basically calling them extremists. You see, because you know, I mentioned this in a video I did before about how, because like I said, I mentioned this before about how basically you got this side basically trying to poke and stir up some shit on for the other side, because they're trying to cause they're trying to get the you know, the right wing to react a certain way. And because you see with that what do you call it, the rating of Donald Trump's his home, you know, a lot of people looked at that as a direct attack on the right wing, the right side, or whatever they call it, right? And you know, that pissed a lot of these Republicans off. You know, that pissed a lot of the right wingers off. You know, because like I said, you basically got the left wing basically throwing a lot of jab shots at the right wing, and they're trying to cause another, you know, January 6th insurrection, right? Like I said, they're trying to set the stage to where they can bring in these draconian laws, you know. So they're trying to stir up this civil unrest, all right, trying to get the people to react a certain way so that they can bring in the, as we've been talking about, the order out of chaos. You know, from the chaos, it'll justify them in bringing in the order. You see? So I'm gonna play this video because a civil war is coming to America. All right, and it's you see, Lord's will. We don't have another decade here. All right, the way that prophecy is moving, the way that as fast as things are happening. All right, with that MOTB right around the corner. All right, and you know, we've been saying this because, you know, we're just so eager and desperate to get out of here. But if because you know, the way that things are moving, you know, we're definitely going to make it to 2024, right? Or 2023, excuse me. But if we make it to 2024, then, you know, I'll really be surprised if we make it that far. Because again, we don't have another decade. We don't have another 10 years here. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. So yeah, a lot of people are on edge. A lot of people think that a civil war is likely to happen, and again, it's prophesied to happen. A civil war is going to break out here in America, and um, like I said, because a lot of people believe that Biden was ever since he got in office, he's caused nothing but a more of a division. Pretty much that's all Biden's been doing since he's been in office. He's been causing nothing but a division. And like the scriptures say, I'm gonna get that. Going to get that. Because like I mentioned with Biden's speech, that that caused even more of a division. A lot of people sided with Trump because of this speech that Biden did. Pissed a lot of more Republicans off because again, it's like these leftists. They're poking at the right wing. Trying to get them to do something, trying to get them to react a certain way because they want a civil war. Because again, they want to bring in the order. So they're trying to set up a scenario where it's chaos. Because like I said, the order out of chaos. They want to they got to justify themselves in bringing in the draconian measures. That's what I read in Revelation 13. All right, speaking as a dragon, that the draconian laws. All right, but I'm gonna get this. In the book of Mark chapter 3 verse 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against Satan, because, again, ultimately, it's Esau against Esau. That's what a majority of these wars have been about. It's basically been Esau against Esau, from the world wars to the from the French and Spanish and all those different wars. It's basically been Esau fighting against himself. You see, that's why I said again. It says if Satan rise up against Satan, and if Satan rise up against himself, talk about Esau, Edom, and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. So you see, this nation is divided. All right, and it's intentional. It's orchestrated. More division, tension being at an all-time high. All right, I'm gonna get this as well in 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 31. Matter of fact, verse 30. 2nd Ezra 13 and 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. Yeah, because when it comes down to it, one thing's going to lead to another. All right. It's only, like we've been saying, man, it's only going to get worse. All hell's going to break loose. World War III is going to break out. And when that MOTB is mandated, things are really going to expedite. Things are really going to speed up. All right. And all this is going to lead to the second coming of Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get this in Luke. Let's get this in Luke chapter 12, verse 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth. Because again, Yahushua is coming to wreak havoc, man. He's coming with his own fire. All right. Because ultimately, Yahushua, he's going to come and he's going to destroy this beast system. He's going to completely take this beast system out. He's going to take Esau, Edom out. All right. And it's going to be by way of fire. But even before that takes place, when you read on, it says, and what will if it already be kindled. So you see, when Yahushua comes, all hell is already going to be breaking loose. All hell is already going to be breaking loose. It's going to be total anarchy. All right. Hence the scriptures say, perilous times shall come. Evil times shall come. That word evil, the word ev goes into an age or you know, an age or a time period, right? And el goes into, it goes into bad. So very bad times are in ahead, are in store for America. And you know, all hell is going to be breaking loose, as it already is, throughout the four corners of the earth, in different places of the earth, as it already is. Going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, in verse 31, it says, and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another. Yeah, because again, you know, America's divided as it is already, all right, with the blue states and the red states. Right, you got certain states like Texas talking about, you know, breaking off from Babylon and you know, doing their own thing. Right. It says one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And you know, again, ultimately, because again, when Yahushua comes, he's gonna wreak havoc. He's coming with the angels, the chariots. All right, they're gonna be dishing out laser beams and you know. Because again, Yahushua is coming with fire, right? That's why it said one realm against another. It's going to be Yahushua and the angels versus Esau. You know, Esau and his angels on the left hand, which that's going to be like Mike Tyson fighting a baby, man. It's going to be a very, it's going to be not fair, so to say. It's not going to be even matched whatsoever. You know. Because like I mentioned, when World War III breaks out, yeah, these nations, they're going to fight each other. But when Yahushua comes, they're going to stop fighting each other. And they're going to try to fight Yahushua. All right? And that's when you read in the book of Revelation. Matter of fact, I'll get that. That's that war in heaven that you read, that I'm about to get. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, it says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So again, this is that what I was just describing, what I was just talking about. This is that war in heaven. It's not talking about Michael fighting against the spiritual demon Satan. All right. You know, it's talking about his physical counterpart, which is Esau Edom. Because Satan, he's a perfect angel on the left hand. Satan works for the Heavenly Father. All right, there's no great battle between God and Satan. No, Satan works for the Heavenly Father. You know, so this war in heaven, again, I'm gonna read it again. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Again, this beast system. All right, Esau Edom, which controls this beast system. It says, and the dragon fought and his angels. So you're gonna have the like I said, Yahushua is gonna come with the angels. You're gonna have Michael the archangel, which is the top angel on the right hand, right? And like I said, Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, he's a, and demon just means intelligence. All right, it's not some, you know, a demon. It just means intelligent, being intelligent. All right, because again, the spiritual demon Satan, he's a top angel on the left hand, and Michael, he's a top angel on the right hand. All right, but this dragon, Michael the archangel, like I said, Yahushua, Michael the archangel, and all the other angels, they're gonna fight with Esau and the angels, those you know, Esau and those spirits on the left hand, you know. And this is that realm fighting one another that I just read about in 2nd Ezra 13. You know, but like I said, even with that, before that takes place, all hell is already going to be breaking loose out here in America. Civil war is going to take place. You know, and I'm gonna play this next video because with everything that's going on, I did a video on this the other day going into how, you know, this dark winter that everyone's been talking about, Biden has been talking about, all right, with the EU and EU nations, EU countries, Germany, right? I believe because Moscow just they cut their gas supply off again to Germany, and I also believe France. So a lot of these EU nations, they're preparing for a dark winter. All right, a lot of these EU countries, and America is going to be affected as well because again, EU and NATO, that makes up the beast. All right. And this is America is that great horde that sits on top of the beast. So America is in cahoots. All right. So this is going to affect America as well as it already is. You see, because with these EU nations, they're more and more being turned into third world countries because Moscow cutting up the those pipelines off. So, now they're rationing, and businesses are going to be infected. Like I reported on the other day, to prepare for this harsh winter, a lot of these EU countries, they're stacking up on coal and wood to be able to burn fire because they're getting ready for a dark winter, and it's coming over here, and it's already started. It's already started. That's why I want to play this next video, because I was going to mention. With all this being said, with the food rationings and the rolling blackouts and all these other things, what they're predicting is this is going to cause a civil unrest as well. It's going to cause a civil unrest amongst the people, with the people, man. So I'm going to play this video.
Well, officials in California are warning of rolling blackouts as the state braces for an extreme heat wave. Governor Gavin Newsom urging residents there to conserve energy as peak usage threatens to destabilize the power grid. This comes just a week after the state passed new legislation limiting all new vehicle sales to electric vehicles and hybrids by 2035, a move that's expected to strain the grid further. Let's bring in Desmond Wheely. He is chairman, CEO, and president of Beam Global. And we should mention, Desmond, you are out in California. You have said that the infrastructure is not sufficient enough for this rapid transition that Governor Newsom has now put forward. That was before these warnings of rolling blackouts. What's your biggest concern with the infrastructure in place?
Well, I think we have to remember that the US grid, magnificent though it is, was never designed to replace petroleum products for transportation fuel. That simply wasn't on any of the original planning. And as a result, it doesn't have anywhere near enough capacity to provide all the fuel that we will need for all these magnificent electric vehicles that are coming down the road. By the way, I think it's very important to point out that there's very little controversial about Governor Newsom's decision here. Europe has already made a decision to ban all but electric vehicles in 2035, and it's very hard to imagine automotive manufacturers being able to make one class of vehicles for Europe and one for North America. So this is one of those cases where as goes California, so goes the rest of the United States, but in fact it's really as goes Europe, so goes the United States. So we're going to have to do a lot for infrastructure, and we're going to have to do it very quickly.
Desmond, it's Brian Chung here. So kind of explain to me what Beam Global's role in the kind of overall space is. When you talk about, you have off-grid EV charging infrastructure, you just recently acquired a battery technology company. How do you kind of fit into that future that we need to be thinking about?
Well, Brian, it's exactly what we've just been talking about. We have, for over a decade now, recognized the fact that there would not be anywhere near enough capacity on the grid to supply all the fuel for the electric vehicles that are certainly coming over the next couple of decades. And then beyond that, there's another serious consideration too, which is just vulnerability. Again, the grid is a magnificent piece of equipment, but we do have blackouts and brownouts from time to time. And we cannot have our fueling infrastructure relying on centralized infrastructure that's vulnerable to centralized failure. This country has a...
So you see, man, it's too much. Basically, it's too much for the grid, and not only that, the grid is vulnerable. That's why time you're gonna have these blackouts, and like you said, you can't put your trust into this type of system that's vulnerable like that. You see, so Hey, man, you know, with that being said, hey, because again, with this, I believe there's I think it's I think there's a heat crisis, if I'm not mistaken. Because right now, you know, the new talk is this whole energy crisis, and you see with all these heat waves, right? This is why they're asking people to reserve energy, like what we see going on in certain EU nations, right? Because like I said, this is going to affect businesses as well. You know, businesses have to limit, you know, their energy, right? You know, which is, you know, all in all, it's just going to more and more negatively affect the economy, consumers, right? So just like what we see going on in EU nations, again, you know, it's going to be the same thing over here. You know, businesses are going to have to cut back. It's going to put a further strain on the economy. It's just all a recipe for disaster. And like I said, you know, they're predicting, hey, this is going to cause civil unrest. You know, it's just it's all a recipe for disaster, man. When you get into it, 'cause, I mean, you know, I'm just trying to keep it all in a nutshell, because it's a lot. You know, it's a lot going on. You know, but I just want to read this real quick in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hasteth greatly. So you see, man, it's coming, man, because, hey, we're in a time where the Lord said he will no longer prolong his word. He's not holding back his word anymore, man. These plagues, they're already here. They're already here. And it's, you know, it's just a matter of time, man. And things are only going to ramp up. Things are going to intensify. All right. Hey, man, it's going to get tough, man. It's going to get hard. It says, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. Yeah, because, hey, a lot of people are going to be bitch made, man. That, you know, the Lord's getting ready to turn this place out. It says the day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress. A great distress is coming to America, first and foremost, because, hey, this place has been this America has been, like the scripture described, the golden cup in the Lord's hand. The Lord used this place. The Lord used America to spread this wickedness throughout the four corners of the earth. Well, now the Lord is going to judge this place. America, she served her purpose. That's why eventually, when you know, according to the prophecy, because like I mentioned, with the beast, which consists of EU and NATO, and like I mentioned, America is the whore that sits on top of the beast. Well, like I said, America, she served her purpose. So eventually, the beast is going to turn her back on America. All of America, all those nations, all these nations that are Confederate, that are allied to America, they're going to shoot the missiles at America, completely destroying this place. All right, because, hey, her time is up. The Lord set this place up to you know, serve his purpose. Well, we've come to the end of her purpose, and, you know, quite frankly, the Lord doesn't need America anymore. You know, she's finished. You see, so now it's time for this place to be judged, and we're coming into this time where her judgment, all right, the Lord is about to judge this place. And the Wadi Yahweh Shema Shah, because, hey, man, you know, to the saints, hey, to the hopeful elect, man, hey, we are ready to get the hell up out of here, man. You know, but it says a day of trouble and distress. So trouble and distress, hard times, man. Like I mentioned, with the very evil times, very bad times we're coming into. And like I mentioned, in you know, the Spirit is on me to keep mentioning it. Hey, the only thing that's going to be the difference maker between those of us, the hopefully elect, and to everyone else, is faith, that favoritism. Because, hey, in these times, hey, you know, when these times come, the Lord, he's going to look at those that are his, man, those that belong to him, the elect. The Lord's going to take care of his elect. And we got a small glimpse of that out there in Mississippi, all right, with the water situation, the water crisis that's going on. You know, hey, brothers were taken care of. You know, the brothers out there in Mississippi, the Lord took care of them. That's a small glimpse of, hey, the Lord's going to look after, he's going to look after us, man. You see, Because this time of trouble that we're coming into, Jacob's trouble, as it's known as in the scriptures, all right, you know, this is a time of punishment, not only for the nations, because they're, you know, they're just a casualty of war. You know, they don't mean anything. Ultimately, this is a thing about you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, all right? And Jacob's trouble is exactly that, trouble for you Jakes. So you see, because, hey, you know, it's trouble for the 2/3. It's judgment, because this is going to be a time of judgment for the 2/3. You see? So when it comes to Jacob's trouble and it comes to this time of trouble, it's not for us. You know, we're dealing with our chastening now. The Lord is punishing us now so that we don't have to get chastised with these people. We don't have to get judged with 2/3. So reading on, it says, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So you see, man, it's a day of darkness, man. You know, a day of gloominess. You know, very bad times, man. So, hey, because with this, they were talking about, again, rolling blackouts and, you know, everything that they've been talking about over the past year or so, going into this dark winter. And, you know, because like I said, it's all a recipe for disaster, man. You know, like I think that was that back in June, or was it August? I think it was in August. They were talking about how the world's wheat supply only had like 10 weeks, 10 weeks left, you know. And I believe, you know, that was either back in June or August. You know, well, hey, we're in a time now where, hey, we're coming, if we're not already, them 10 weeks is up. So again, you know, more food shortages. Like I mentioned in the video I did before about the gas tax holiday, that's going to end soon. So expect gas to go back up even higher than what, you know, the $5, $6 that, you know, we were paying in certain places. Gas is going to, hey, don't be surprised. Like I said before, gas is going to reach $8, $9, $10 a gallon, man. They're expecting gas to, oil to reach, I think it was $700 a barrel. So shit. You can expect even higher gas prices than that, than $10, you know? So, you know, like I said, it's a lot. When you really go into it, it's a lot going on, man. And it's just all a recipe for disaster, man. It's just all a recipe for disaster. And it's looking like this could be that dark winter that everyone has been talking about. Biden's been talking about it. All right. I mean, hey, this could be it, you know? And let it be, you know? Because, like I said, to the saints, we're ready to get the hell up out of here, man. You know? But I'm going to go ahead and end off there. You know, hopefully this was edifying to the elect. And once again, man, just remember, you know, to the hopefully elect brothers and sisters out there, when it comes to this time of trouble that we're vastly, because like I mentioned, hey, this time it's coming hastily. You know, it's coming quickly. It's right around the corner. But just remember, this time of trouble is not for us. All right, the hopeful elect is not for us. You know, it's for 2/3 of these people, of our people, and the rest of these nations. All right, we're going to be taken care of. You know, so just remember that. You know, but again, hopefully this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham to you hopefully elect. Lord's willing, until next time, Shalom.